Have you noticed that sometimes superficial connections and external expectations are holding you back? Today, I'm not only going to show you how to change the course of your relationships, but how to reclaim your personal power. Imagine a world where your actions speak louder than your words, where your no is as powerful as your yes, and where the people around you uplift you rather than drain you. Stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal the secrets to making your presence valued in silence and building quality relationships that truly transform your life. If you're ready for deep change, this video is exactly what you've been looking for. Number 1, be self-sufficient. Your happiness depends on you. One of the most powerful principles of Stoicism is recognizing that our happiness does not depend on others, but on ourselves. Emotional self-sufficiency is key to taking control of your life, as it frees you from the constant need for external validation. Being self-sufficient means that your well-being isn't determined by how others treat you, but by how you choose to respond to what happens around you. Often, we seek out others to fill emotional voids or to give us the security we feel we lack. However, this leaves us vulnerable because we place our emotional state in the hands of others. Stoicism invites us to take full responsibility for our happiness by cultivating a healthy relationship with ourselves, where what truly matters is how we treat and value ourselves internally. Imagine living your life without depending on others' approval to feel good. Each day, you make decisions based on what brings you peace, not on what others expect from you. When you develop emotional self-sufficiency, you become a stronger person, capable of facing any challenge with serenity because your happiness is no longer at stake. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy relationships or the company of others, but rather that your emotional stability isn't dependent on them. Being self-sufficient is not about distancing yourself from others or becoming insensitive. On the contrary, it means you know yourself well enough to understand what you need and have the confidence to give it to yourself without waiting for others to do it. This creates a solid foundation on which you can build more authentic and balanced relationships without falling into emotional dependency. Your happiness is in your hands. No matter what happens around you or how others treat you, by practicing self-sufficiency, you realize that you have the power to create a fulfilling life based on your own values, actions, and decisions. And when you do this, you free yourself from the burden of waiting for someone else to make you happy. Commit now to being self-sufficient. Start by making small daily decisions that bring you closer to your inner well-being and a life where your happiness depends solely on you. Over time, you will develop a powerful self-sufficiency that will allow you to face the world with confidence and freedom. Number 2, walk away in silence and regain your strength. Sometimes the situations or relationships we find ourselves in drain us emotionally. We give more than we receive, trying to be valued or understood, and over time, this can weaken our self-esteem and energy. Stoicism teaches us that in these moments, walking away in silence is one of the most powerful decisions we can make. You don't need to make noise or explain your reasons. Your action speaks for itself. Silence is a declaration of strength, self-control, and self-respect. When you decide to walk away from a relationship or situation that no longer serves you, you are giving yourself the opportunity to regain your inner strength. By creating distance, you no longer waste energy trying to change what you cannot control, but instead, redirect that energy towards yourself, towards your own well-being and growth. Silence allows you to heal, reflect, and gain clarity on what you truly deserve and need in your life. Walking away in silence is not an act of weakness or escape. On the contrary, it is a firm step towards emotional self-sufficiency. Instead of engaging in endless arguments or justifying yourself to those who don't value your presence, you choose silence as a way to protect your peace. This allows you to set clear boundaries without having to expend energy explaining what should already be obvious. Your well-being is your priority. Imagine walking away from a situation that has drained you emotionally, and instead of staying trapped in frustration, allowing silence to work its magic. Over time, those who didn't value you will reflect on what they lost. But what's most important is that you will feel stronger, more at peace, and more aligned with what you truly need. By making this decision, you reaffirm yourself as the person in control of your life. You don't need anyone else to understand your reasons or offer validation, because your personal growth is what matters most. Silence is your ally in healing, regaining your strength and taking the next step toward a life where you're surrounded only by what values and uplifts you. Commit now to walking away in silence when necessary. Through this act, you will give yourself the space to recover your inner strength, maintaining your dignity and strengthening your emotional self-sufficiency. In time, you'll realize that walking away is not a loss, but an essential step toward your personal growth and inner peace. Number 3, learn to be comfortable with solitude as you strengthen yourself. In a world where constant noise and social interaction seem to be the norm, solitude is often viewed with fear or rejection. However, when embraced and understood correctly, solitude is one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and emotional self-sufficiency. Learning to be comfortable in your own company not only allows you to know yourself better, but also strengthens you in ways that few experiences can. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within, and solitude is the perfect space to nurture that internal connection. Being alone doesn't mean being isolated or falling into sadness. On the contrary, it means finding peace in your own company without relying on external stimuli or others' approval. It's in solitude that you discover your own worth and what truly drives you in life. When you become comfortable with solitude, you begin to free yourself from the emotional burdens of external dependency. Relationships, validations, or the constant presence of others are no longer necessary for your well-being. Instead, you become your own source of strength. This process not only allows you to heal and reflect, but also gives you the mental clarity to make better decisions and act from a place of power and peace. Imagine that every time you choose to spend time alone, instead of feeling uncomfortable or anxious, you use that time to reconnect with yourself. You can meditate, read, reflect on your goals, or simply enjoy the silence. This practice strengthens your mind and spirit, creating a solid foundation to face any challenge life presents. Over time, you'll discover that solitude isn't a void, but a space for growth and self-reflection. Learning to be comfortable with solitude also prepares you for more balanced relationships. When you know how to be alone and happy in your own company, you stop seeking others to fill or complete you. Instead, you enter relationships from a place of emotional abundance, where you don't need the other person but choose them freely without depending on their presence to feel good. Commit now to learning how to be comfortable with solitude. Use these moments to strengthen yourself, get to know yourself better, and cultivate emotional self-sufficiency that will allow you to face any challenge with serenity. Over time, solitude will no longer be something you fear, but a powerful tool for your personal growth and inner well-being. Number 4, use silence to be valued more. In a world where everyone has something to say and the constant noise of opinions and explanations seems to be the norm, silence becomes an incredibly powerful tool. We often believe that to be valued, we need to explain ourselves, justify our decisions, or make others listen to us. But Stoicism teaches us that silence, when used strategically, can make others value and respect you more for who you are, not just for what you say. When you choose silence instead of reacting impulsively or seeking validation, you send a clear message. Your worth is not tied to external opinions. You don't need to fill the space with words to be heard, because your presence and actions speak for themselves. By remaining silent, especially in moments when others expect an emotional reaction or explanation, You demonstrate self-control, confidence, and emotional self-sufficiency that commands respect. Silence also creates space for reflection. When you step away from unnecessary arguments and avoid the need to justify your choices, you allow others to reflect on your actions and appreciate your presence on a deeper level. It is in those silent moments that people begin to notice your importance, not because of what you say, but because of what you choose not to say. Imagine being in a situation where you would normally feel the need to defend yourself or justify your decisions. Instead of reacting immediately, you choose silence. This not only preserves your inner peace, but also forces others to reflect on what you've contributed, allowing them to value your presence and contributions more. By not participating in the noise, you become more memorable, more respected, because your silence speaks louder than words. Silence is also a tool that helps you conserve your emotional energy. Instead of wearing yourself out in discussions or trying to convince others of your worth, you remain in control, knowing that respect doesn't always come from what you say, but from how you handle situations with calmness and serenity. Using silence is a way to set clear boundaries without confrontation. It's not always necessary to explain why you're walking away or why you don't engage in certain conversations. Silence is your way of saying, "I am enough as I am, and I don't need to convince you of that." Over time, this approach makes others value your presence more and respect you for the inner strength you project. Commit now to using silence strategically in your relationships and difficult situations. You don't always need to be heard to be valued. By letting silence speak for you, you will gain respect, preserve your inner peace, and create space for others to appreciate you more deeply for who you are, not just for what you say. Number 5, learn to say no without explanations or guilt. Saying no is one of the most powerful and liberating actions we can take in our lives. Yet many of us fear saying no out of concern for disappointing others or feeling guilty. Stoicism teaches us that no is a key tool for setting healthy boundaries, protecting our inner peace and strengthening our emotional self-sufficiency. Learning to say no without giving lengthy explanations or carrying guilt is an act of self-love and self-respect. Saying no is an act of self-control and personal responsibility. You are not obligated to meet everyone's expectations or justify your reasons for protecting your time, energy, or well-being. When you say no without needing to explain every detail, you show that you value your boundaries and prioritize yourself. You are not being selfish, you are being mindful of your own needs and capacities. Saying no without guilt frees you from the need for external approval. You don't need to convince anyone of your reasons or seek their validation. Your decisions are yours, and you don't need to ask for permission to protect what's important to you. Sometimes people may try to make you feel bad for not pleasing them, but the power of your no lies in the calm certainty that you are acting in alignment with your values and boundaries. Imagine being asked to do something you know you cannot or do not want to do. Instead of feeling obligated to offer an excuse or explanation, you simply say no. By practicing this habit, you not only protect your time and energy, but also strengthen your confidence in yourself. You should not feel guilty for saying no, because it is a tool that allows you to care for your well-being. In doing so, you establish more balanced and respectful relationships. When you learn to say no with confidence and without guilt, you avoid the emotional strain of saying yes out of obligation or fear of being misunderstood. No gives you the power to prioritize your needs and allows you to take control of your life without having to justify every decision. Moreover, you surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and value your honesty. Stoicism teaches us to act from reason and inner clarity, not from guilt or the need to please others. Saying no is a way to apply these principles because it allows you to live in harmony with yourself and the boundaries you need to maintain your mental peace. Commit now to saying no without explanations or guilt. In doing so, you will free yourself from the weight of external expectations and focus on what truly matters: your emotional well-being, your time, and your energy. Over time, you'll see that this simple no is one of the most powerful tools for building a fuller and more balanced life. Number 6, invest in yourself to attract healthier relationships. One of the most important lessons in Stoicism is that personal well-being begins from within. Investing in yourself not only strengthens you internally, but also changes the types of relationships you attract into your life. When you invest in your personal growth, emotional well-being, and self-sufficiency, you create a solid foundation that allows you to surround yourself with people who value and respect who you are. Healthier relationships start with you. Investing in yourself doesn't just mean improving your skills or achieving professional goals. It's about taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health and ensuring that your inner peace is not dependent on external factors. By focusing on your personal growth, you begin to establish clear boundaries and recognize which types of relationships deserve your time and energy. This allows you to attract people who value you for who you are, not for what you can offer them. When you dedicate time to improving yourself, your self-esteem rises and your confidence in who you are strengthens. This changes the dynamics of your relationships because you no longer feel the need to accept less than you deserve. By having a strong relationship with yourself, you become more selective about who you let into your life. Those who don't respect your values or contribute positively to your life will naturally drift away, and in their place, you'll attract people who see and appreciate your true worth. Imagine investing time every day in your personal growth, whether through reading, meditation, exercise, or reflection. As you become more self-aware, you start to notice changes in the relationships you maintain. The people around you begin to respect you more because you've shown that you respect yourself first. Through this personal investment, you build more balanced and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and shared growth. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control others, we can control ourselves. By investing in yourself, you become the kind of person who attracts relationships built on support, admiration, and respect. You don't seek external validation because you already feel complete, allowing you to act from a place of authenticity and clarity. Commit now to investing in yourself. Dedicate time to your personal growth and improving your relationship with yourself. In doing so, you'll begin to notice how the relationships around you transform, attracting people who value and respect who you are. When you invest in yourself, you create an environment where only the healthiest and most balanced relationships can thrive. Number 7, do not compromise your principles to fit in. In our pursuit of being accepted or pleasing others, we may sometimes feel tempted to compromise our principles to fit into a group or gain approval from those around us. However, Stoicism reminds us that our integrity is one of the most important values we must protect. Compromising what we believe, what we value, or who we are for external acceptance not only pulls us away from our authenticity, but also weakens our self-esteem and makes us vulnerable to manipulation. Being true to your principles is a way of honoring yourself. Your values are the compass that guides your decisions and shapes the person you become. When you abandon them to fit in or avoid conflict, you not only betray yourself but also create relationships based on a false version of who you are. The price of fitting in should never be your dignity or your integrity. Stoicism teaches that we must stand firm in our principles, even if that means disagreeing with others or not being accepted in certain circles. Not everyone will share your values, and that's okay. What matters is that you remain faithful to what's important to you. Don't seek approval at the expense of your truth. True strength and emotional self-sufficiency come from knowing you don't need to compromise to be valued or respected. Imagine being in a situation where you feel pressured to give in or do something that goes against what you believe just to fit in. Instead of taking the easy path and betraying your principles, you choose to stand firm. This act not only strengthens your self-esteem, but also gives you the freedom to be surrounded by people who truly respect you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. In the end, it's better to stand alone with your integrity intact than to be surrounded by people for whom your true self isn't enough. When you don't compromise your principles, you send a clear message. You respect yourself enough not to sell out for acceptance or popularity. This sets a standard for the relationships you allow into your life, as you will attract people who share your values or respect your authenticity. Staying true to your principles also gives you mental clarity and inner peace that can only come from living in alignment with your deepest values. Commit now to never compromise your principles to fit in. Be authentic, stand firm, and stay true to who you are. When you do this, not only do you become a stronger and more confident person, but you also attract relationships and situations that align with your truth. Emotional self-sufficiency begins by staying true to yourself, no matter the external pressures. Number 8, surround yourself with those who uplift you, not those who drain you. The people we choose to surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our lives, our energy, and our personal growth. Stoicism reminds us to be mindful and selective with the relationships we allow into our circle, as not everyone around us contributes to our well-being. To live authentically and self-sufficiently, it is essential to surround yourself with those who uplift you, not those who drain you. When you surround yourself with people who inspire you, support you, and share your values, you feel more motivated and stronger to continue growing. These healthy, balanced relationships help you stay focused on what truly matters and provide an environment where you can flourish emotionally and personally. These people don't compete with you or drain you emotionally. Instead, they encourage you to be the best version of yourself. On the other hand, when you're surrounded by people who drain you, those who constantly sap your energy or pull you away from your goals and values, you carry an emotional weight that negatively affects your well-being. Sometimes we may feel obligated to maintain such relationships out of a sense of duty or fear of loneliness, but Stoicism teaches us that it is better to be alone than surrounded by people who don't contribute to our personal growth. Imagine being surrounded by people who uplift you, who respect your boundaries, and who support you without judgment. These are the people who, instead of making you feel exhausted, give you the strength to keep going, motivate you to grow, and help you stay true to yourself. By surrounding yourself with these people, your life becomes lighter, more balanced, and more fulfilling. Choose wisely who you invite into your life. It's crucial to be selective and prioritize relationships that inspire you to be better rather than those that drag you down. When you cultivate relationships with people who share your vision, you feel stronger, more confident, and more capable of facing life's challenges. Surround yourself with people who make you feel valued and supported, because these connections are the ones that truly nurture and help you grow. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and one of the most important decisions we can make is who we allow into our close circle. By doing so, you'll be cultivating an environment where you can grow with authenticity, peace, and inner strength. Commit now to surrounding yourself with those who uplift you, not those who drain you. In doing so, you'll be making a conscious decision to protect your energy, prioritize your well-being, and ensure your life is filled with people who contribute to your growth and happiness. Number 9, let your actions, not your words, define your value. In life, we often feel the need to explain ourselves, justify our actions, or prove our worth through words. However, Stoicism teaches us that true power and respect come from our actions, not from what we say. Words can be empty, but actions are the purest reflection of our principles, values, and commitment. Let your actions, not your words, speak for you and define your value to others. When you focus on living with integrity, consistency, and determination, you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your actions will do that for you. By living aligned with what you truly believe and demonstrating it through what you do, you not only remain true to yourself, but you also project an image of strength and authenticity that others respect without the need for explanations. Stoicism reminds us that people may doubt your words, but they cannot doubt your actions. If you constantly try to convince others of who you are or what you're worth through words, you are placing your power in external perceptions. Instead, when you act with determination and consistency with your principles, you send a message far stronger than any argument or justification. My value lies in what I do, not in what I say. Imagine being in a situation where you feel tempted to explain or defend yourself so that others respect or value you. Instead of doing that, you choose to act according to your principles. Over time, you'll see that your actions speak louder than any words, and those who truly respect you will do so because they see what you do, not because they hear what you say. This approach not only allows you to live with more peace, but also reinforces your inner confidence. Consistent actions show who you are without the need for external validation. Letting your deeds speak for you is a way to empower yourself, live according to your values, and project your true essence. When you live this way, you don't need to convince others of your worth because your behavior, decisions, and the way you face life already demonstrate it. Commit now to letting your actions define your value. Act authentically, live your principles, and make every action reflect who you truly are. In doing so, you will earn not only the respect of others, but also your own respect, knowing that your value doesn't rely on empty words, but on what you truly do to build a full and meaningful life. Number 10, develop a mindset that values quality over quantity in relationships. In a world where social media and superficial connections seem to be everywhere, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the more relationships you have, the more valuable you are. However, Stoicism teaches us to value quality over quantity, especially in our personal relationships. True emotional wealth is not found in how many people surround you, but in the depth and meaning of the connections you have. Having many relationships doesn't always mean having healthy or meaningful ones. Often, we may find ourselves surrounded by people who don't contribute to our well-being, who drain us, or who don't share our core values. It's better to have a few strong relationships built on respect, authenticity, and mutual support than many superficial connections that don't emotionally nurture you. By prioritizing quality over quantity, you give yourself the space to cultivate relationships that truly matter, that uplift you, and that help you grow as a person. Imagine that instead of trying to maintain dozens of superficial relationships, you choose to focus on the people who truly understand and support you. These relationships aren't based on the number of interactions or appearances, but on the value they bring to your life. You surround yourself with people with whom you can have deep conversations, people who challenge you to be better and who respect you for who you are. These are the relationships that endure and enrich you, and they are the ones truly worthy of your time and energy. Stoicism reminds us that quantity is never a true indicator of value. This applies to both material possessions and relationships. A single meaningful relationship can bring you more happiness and peace than 100 relationships that don't contribute to your personal growth. Don't be fooled by the idea that more is better. Focus on the people who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. Quality is what builds authentic connections that truly contribute to your well-being. When you choose to develop a mindset that values quality over quantity in your relationships, you learn to invest your time in what truly matters. By doing so, not only do you surround yourself with people who uplift you, but you also free yourself from the pressure to please everyone or be available to everyone. You create a circle of trust, people who support you in both good and bad times and who respect you for who you are, not for what you can offer them. Commit now to developing a mindset that values quality over quantity in relationships. It's not about having more connections, but about having the right connections. By choosing quality, you'll cultivate more authentic, balanced, and fulfilling relationships, allowing you to live with greater peace and emotional satisfaction. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.